welcome back to another video, and today we got a review on a little impact wrench. Fits in Makita batteries but is not a Makita. Oftentimes you can find them by actually typing in not a Makita or for Makita. There is a previous model that had a smaller hammer, has a little rubber, looks like the glow-in-the-dark ring, but it doesn't actually glow in the dark. Anyways, this one here seemed to have a bigger hammer on it, and it says new for 2021, so it's supposed to be, as of making this video, the new model. So I ordered it. The other one had issues with, people automatically go to one of these things just because you can put a 1/2-inch socket on there and try to remove a lug nut, which doesn't really mean that it's meant to remove lug nuts. Most of these brands have several classifications, different sizes of wrenches. Like Makita, I believe, has like 4 different 1/2-inch impacts. The smallest one, it could probably maybe remove a lug nut, but it doesn't really mean that that's what it's meant for. So, anyways, I seen this one and I thought, well, having that ability to remove a lug nut is important to a lot of people, because you can buy something like this, put it in your trunk. But anyhow, I'd like to mention that this one does have battery communication. Previous model did not. I've already used this tool quite a bit. As a matter of fact, all the takes in this video was already made. I'm impressed with it. It's amazing for 38 bucks shipped to your door. Well, like 40-ish shipped to your door. That's amazing for something like this. Especially the construction of it. It is brushless. It's a glass reinforced case. It does have something that I think is kind of tacky, actually, is you can put those 1/4-inch bits in it, like drive-in screws. Maybe something somebody likes or dislikes. I think it's kind of tacky. I'd also like to mention that people oftentimes judge these tools. The previous model is able to run in screws. Well, drivers they run a higher RPM, because you're turning something that's way smaller, so you want it to actually get something accomplished. Well, this is meant to turn something bigger, and it's meant to have a bigger hammer than one of those little small things. So the small ones are going to be higher RPM and actually going to win against almost anything like this size or bigger, simply because it goes a higher RPM, more impacts per second, or minute, or whatever. But anyway, let's get on with the video. I think you'll be impressed of the things that this thing can take off for 38 bucks. Alright, used a torque wrench and set these at, see, we got 100, 110, 130, 150, and 190. We'll see if this can remove them and put them back on. Well, remove them, and then we'll try to figure out what this thing can remove and what does it tighten stuff down to. But first, we'll see if we can get all these off. Alright, here's 110. And 130. And we got 150. And 190. Well, can't remove 190. This is a good sized lug nut at usually what you find on trucks, 22 millimeter. Let's try to get him. Alright, let's dial this down and see what we can take off. Alright, I retorqued this one here to 170, and I can tell you this is one that this thing previously put on, and I did have to turn it to get it to that. So I need to socket. See if it'll take it off. Alright, so with a little bit of effort it can take off 170. I would say that's probably it's probably the limit for the thing. 170 to 180 maybe. Alright, let's try to figure out. We'll run this down, tighten it all the way down, and then we'll try to figure out what it takes to get it off. Alright, yeah, that's about as tight as that thing can do. Turn this down to alright, I got it on 130. Alright, we're clicking. Turn it up to there's 130. No, 140, sorry. $150. I'd be surprised if it actually put something on tighter than what it can take off. 160. That was 170. 180. 190. Oh, there it is. Took off it put on 190. So it can put on more than it can take off. It's kind of neat, actually. Okay, so prior to taking this video, this tool has been used. You can see there's marks on it and stuff. So it's broken. My cousin already took it to pull apart and took several things off with it and worked out the garage. So the tool is broken. That's one thing with impacts, is that they do have break-in time, but they actually get more powerful as they're used. Now the thing about the lug nuts, how it couldn't take off the one and was able to put the other one back on tighter, is that there is things about, you know, the resistance of the lug nut contacting the wheel. You know, if it's has more wear to it or galding, you know, from being taken on and off previously. You know, this thing has like 250,000 miles on it, so these wheels have been off and on this thing several times. And then also the effects of the bolt being stretched. They're torque, you know, yield bolts, so you're going to have you know, different effects with those bolts as time goes on. They're not going to, they're going to have a different effect on how they're, you know, the nut is seating. A little friend. So, you know, just this thing's probably capable of somewhere around 190 on and off. I would assume, and it's just given differences with, you know, what you're going to stick it on, if it's rusty or whatever not. Alright, so the shots of the inside of it. Some things I can see that they cut down on is the circuit board for it is not inside of an aluminum case. Whether or not how warm this gets, you know, it may possibly overheat not being an aluminum, or maybe they did tests and, you know, came up with the fact that it didn't need an aluminum case. But that's one thing to mention. The switch is, however you want to pronounce that brand, and It does seem to have a limit built into the case, you know, so it's not the the limit of how far you can push it is not determined by the switch. It actually runs into this, so that would probably help with the switch, you know, not having to control the limit of it. And it stops just short of hitting this case. Bearing is got a cover on it at least. And of course, you can obviously see the design of the motor. It is brushless. Not seeing any. There is no Hall effect on the pickup on the motor, so this device right here is not detecting the location of where the motor is at. So, nice size hammer for this size of wrench. I think it's definitely an improvement over the previous model. Or you could say this may be another step, you know, in between models. You know what I mean? You can't really say that. I guess it's better than the other model. The other model might be just in its own class. I mean, this is just a step up in that. You know, the classes of different size wrenches. But we got, this case is definitely glass. Got glass in the plastic. Overmolds actually are embedded into the case, so maybe it won't peel off as bad. The LED light, it's just a single, like what you'd find in like a ATX computer case or something. It's not say multiple LEDs within an LED. It's just a single LED inside of that bulb. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it in there. Yeah. That's pretty good. Alright guys, so far with this tool I've been pretty impressed for 38 bucks. I do like to mention I do own regular Makita tools. So I like the bigger ones. I got the chainsaw and the 7 1/4 circular saw. It actually uses 2 batteries at once. And I just seen these things online, found some interest in them. I also got the grinders. Anyways, I'd like to also mention that I've seen a lot of reviews where people's using adapters like this or extensions. Anytime you add something like this to any impact, it's going to take away from its ability to remove or put things on as tight. You got the play of it, you know, bouncing around like this, and then on the extensions, the whole extension will actually flex. You'll actually find out if you're using like an impact on them and you run it for a while, the whole shaft of the extension will get hot. So that's one thing to think about, and it's a reason to have a bigger one so that it can, you know, when you do add things like this to it, you know, it's still able to do things, where this one right here would definitely take away a lot of its ability to remove a lot of items. Putting just this on to be able to go to a 3/8 socket. I really wish they would make this tool with a 3/8 end on it. I think that would be awesome as well. I mean, it's actually more sized for 3/8 things than it is a 1/2 inch. But alright, well, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.